Hello everyone, Kuro here. I know I'm late again, especially for a video like this, which should have been an easy one. I've been extremely busy with academics, and it looks like things will stay that way for a while. On top of that, I accidentally deleted the gameplay test videos I recorded during my little free time, and honestly, I got lazy and stopped everything for a bit. Anyway, enough of that sad little story. Let's get into the video. Today, I'll be sharing 50 playable games on the Azahar 3DS Emulator. Well, actually it's more than 50, but I'll explain later in the video why I say 50. I'll also mention a few games I couldn't get to run, just so you have complete clarity. 1. Popolocrois, Story of Seasons Fairytale. This is a crossover RPG that combines the farming sim elements of Story of Seasons with the adventure and storytelling of Popolocrois. It's a slower-paced but charming game. As far as I tested, it ran at full FPS. 2. Rune Factory 4, a beloved farming RPG with dungeon crawling and relationship building. Many consider it one of the best entries in the series. Great game, and it also ran buttery smooth at a full 60 FPS. I don't know about you, but personally, I feel like the older Rune Factory games had smoother animation. Not hating on the newer ones, just saying the old ones have their own charm. 3. Shin Megami Tensei 4. One of the most iconic JRPGs on the 3DS, known for its dark story, demon negotiations, and challenging battles. It also ran at full FPS, though I did notice a minor graphical glitch, which I'd say is easy to ignore. 4. Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes Cartoon Universe Adventure. A light-hearted action-adventure game mixing Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes characters, more of a casual title aimed at kids. Runs great at full speed. 5. Tales of the Abyss, a classic JRPG originally on PS2, later ported to 3DS. Known for its deep story and linear motion battle system. Personally, I'd prefer the PS2 version if I had to choose. But for those who want to play it on Azahar, it also runs at full speed. 6. Ben 10, Omniverse. Based on the cartoon series, this is a brawler-style action game featuring different transformations of Ben. It runs at full speed, but for some reason it didn't feel smooth. Number 7. Mario Tennis. Open Nintendo's fast-paced tennis game featuring Mario characters. This one is actually my favorite Mario Tennis game, even though I don't usually enjoy sports games. It also runs great in Azahar as well as Citra Mmj, though I did try to play in multiplayer mode, but I wasn't able to. 8. Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth, a dungeon crawler crossover mixing Persona 3 and Persona 4 characters, built with Etrian Odyssey-style mechanics. Another great game that runs perfectly. 9. Kid Icarus, Uprising. One of the most ambitious 3DS games, fast action with both ground and aerial battles, plus a strong story from director Masahiro Sakurai. Amazing game, and it runs near perfect speed, but honestly, playing with the stylus isn't really my thing. 10. My Hero Academia, Battle for All. An arena fighting game based on My Hero Academia, with a roster of fan-favorite characters. It ran at full FPS, but I wasn't able to find an English translation patch. Still, it's fine, since it's mostly a versus-style fighting game. 11. Yokai Watch, a monster collecting RPG where you befriend and battle yokai instead of Pokémon. Very popular in Japan, and known for its humor and charm. Guys, you've got to believe me on this. Give this game a try if you like Pokémon. You won't regret it. Honestly, you might even like it more than Pokémon. On top of that, it runs at full speed with an English translation. No reason not to try it. 12. Star Fox 64 3D, a 3DS remake of the N64 classic rail shooter, featuring upgraded visuals and voice acting. I think Nintendo forgot Star Fox even existed, honestly. Anyway, on my device this game didn't run very well, but I'd still put it in the playable category. By the way, you can also try it on Citra Mmj if you want better performance. 13. Project X Zone 2, a massive crossover strategy RPG with characters from Capcom, Bandai Namco, and Sega. Known for flashy combat animations, this one, like the others, also ran great at full speed. 14. Disney Epic Mickey, Power of Illusion. A platformer with hand-drawn art paying homage to classic Disney games like Castle of Illusion. It ran at full speed without any issues. 15. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Shadow Wars, a turn-based strategy game directed by Julian Gollop, the creator of XCOM. Man, where the hell are Tom Clancy games these days? Anyway, this one also runs at full speed. 16. The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, a multiplayer-focused Zelda game where 3 players team up to solve puzzles and fight bosses. Personally, I love Zelda multiplayer games unconditionally. They're just so fun with friends. This one also ran at full speed. The only problem is, I couldn't get the multiplayer to work on Citra Mmj, which really sucks because in this game you have to control 3 links, unlike the GBA one. Honestly, I couldn't get any game to connect in Citra Mmj, so I probably messed something up. If you guys know the fix, let me know in the comments. 17. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, a 2D action platformer from WayForward, highly praised for its tight gameplay and charming art style. Amazing game, and it also runs at full speed. 18. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity, a spin-off dungeon crawler where you play as Pokemon and explore randomly generated dungeons. This game runs at full speed. 19. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. So here's the thing. I was technically able to run this game, but there were slowdowns here and there. Don't worry though, it's very playable on Citra Mmj if you've got a device like mine. And for high-end phones, I think they should be able to run it on Azahar too. 20. Dragon Quest VII, Fragments of the Forgotten Past, a full 3DS remake of the classic PS1 JRPG, known for its long runtime and heavy story. An amazing game. And yeah, this one is even getting another remake. Honestly, I wish they'd give the same treatment to Dragon Quest III and V. Don't get me wrong, the HD 2D remakes look great too, but I can't help feeling a little jealous of this kind of full remake. Anyway, enough of my yapping. This one also ran at full speed. 21. Senran Kagura 2, Deep Crimson. Ah, one of my favorites. It's an action brawler known for its flashy combat and over-the-top character designs. And yeah, you know exactly what I mean. This one also ran at full speed. 22. Mario & Luigi Dream Team, part of the Mario & Luigi RPG series, where Mario enters Luigi's dreams for some really creative puzzle solving and battles. This one also ran at full speed. 23. Hyrule Warriors Legends, a hack-and-slash spin-off of The Legend of Zelda, packed with large-scale battles and fan-favorite characters. If you watched my older test video, you'll remember I couldn't get this one working on Yuzu. But here, runs at full speed, with only some occasional frame dips that are easy to ignore. 24. Hatsune Miku Project Mirai DX, a rhythm game starring Hatsune Miku and the other Vocaloid characters with super cute chibi art. Ignore my gameplay on screen though, I'm terrible at rhythm games. Still, the game itself runs at full speed. 25. Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, a full remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden from the NES with voice acting, cutscenes, and even dungeon crawling. Here's the thing, it's fully playable since it's a slow-paced strategy game, but there are slowdowns and shader compiling issues during cutscenes and battle animations. Thankfully, that doesn't really affect the core gameplay. 26. Fire Emblem Awakening, one of the most beloved Fire Emblem games, often credited with saving the series, known for its story, customization, and support system. Just like Echoes, it has slowdowns during cutscenes, but still totally playable. 27. Pokémon Ultra Sun runs perfectly. And for those wondering, yes, I also tested the ROM hacks Photonic Sun and Prismatic Moon. They work great too. If you don't know how to apply mods, check out my Azahar Emulator guide video, where I explained everything step by step. Anyway, let's move on. 28. Super Mario 3D Land runs great overall, but you might notice some slowdown at the very beginning due to shader compilation. Once it settles, everything plays smoothly. And yeah, that same shader thing applies to other games too. 29. Animal Crossing New Leaf. This one runs great as well, and you can even crank up the resolution if you want. Actually, that goes for every game I've said runs at full speed. You can safely upscale them in Azahar. 30. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. For some reason, this one has slowdowns here and there, but it's still playable. Honestly though, if you want to play Ocarina, I recommend other versions over the 3DS one. For example, the PC decompilation port has 60 FPS, widescreen, and tons of quality of life improvements. I even heard it's available on Android, though I haven't tried it myself. Or you can just play it through an N64 emulator with widescreen hacks. It's a smoother experience. 31. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. This one should technically run like Ocarina of Time, right? But in my experience, it actually feels smoother than Ocarina, though still not perfect. 32. Metal Gear Solid 3D Snake Eater, a 3DS port of the legendary stealth action game MGS3, complete with camouflage and survival mechanics. Personally, I'd prefer the PS2 or PSP version if I wanted to play it on mobile. But for those who want to stick with Azahar, it runs at full speed. 33. Spider-Man Edge of Time, an action game where Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 team up across timelines. Runs at full speed without any issues. 34. The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. A spiritual successor to A Link to the Past, featuring the unique wall merging mechanic. Another smooth one that runs at full speed. 35. Kingdom Hearts 3D, Dream Drop Distance. The 3DS entry in the Kingdom Hearts series, introducing flow motion movement and bridging the story into KH3. This one also runs at full speed. 36. Luigi's Mansion, the original ghost hunting adventure that started it all. You play as Luigi, exploring a haunted mansion filled with ghosts to rescue Mario. There are occasional frame dips, especially during cutscenes or when lightning strikes, but overall I'd still call it playable. 37. LEGO Marvel's Avengers, a LEGO action game adapting the Avengers movies with that classic LEGO humor. Sadly, I couldn't get co-op working, which hurts because LEGO games are best with a friend. Still, the game itself runs at full speed. 38. Pokémon X, the first mainline Pokémon game on the 3DS, introducing 3D battles, Mega Evolutions, and the Kalos region. Runs at full speed without any issues. 39. Pokémon Alpha Sapphire, a remake of the GBA classic Pokémon Sapphire, featuring updated graphics, Mega Evolutions, and lots of new content. Personally, this is my favorite Pokémon remake, just greatness. It also runs at full speed, and even ROM hacks like Star Sapphire work fine. 40. Rayman Origins, a colorful 2D platformer from Ubisoft, famous for its beautiful hand-drawn art and tight platforming. Just like others, this one runs at full speed. Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden, a 2D fighting game featuring a huge roster of Dragon Ball Z characters with flashy sprite animations. If you love Shin Budokai or Fighter Z, you'll definitely enjoy this one. It runs at full speed. 42. Yoshi's New Island, a colorful platformer where Yoshi carries baby Mario, serving as a spiritual successor to Yoshi's Island. This one also runs at full speed. 43. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker 3DS, a puzzle platformer spin-off of Super Mario 3D World, adapted for the 3DS with clever stage design. It's one of my favorite games. Toad games seriously deserve more attention. There's also a Switch version, but for some reason, I couldn't do some mechanisms that probably need motion controls, so this is a solid version to play instead. It runs at full speed, though you'll notice some stutters at the beginning due to shader compilation. They fix themselves after a while. Kirby Triple Deluxe, a Kirby platformer introducing the Hypernova ability with vibrant visuals and creative level design. Like the last one, you might see a bit of stutter early on, but it fixes itself quickly. The game runs at solid speed overall. Oh, and a quick note. You want to play this on a phone instead of a tablet, because it's not very fun tilting it mid-game. And you might face gyro sensor issues. Some users said their phones don't detect gyro at all, which might be an Azahar issue. Personally, I didn't face that problem. 45. Kirby Planet Robobot, another standout Kirby title that adds mech suits and a futuristic theme to the series. The performance is the same as Triple Deluxe, runs great with minor shader stutters early on. 46. Dragon Ball Fusions, a unique RPG where you can fuse Dragon Ball characters in wild combinations, mixing turn-based combat with exploration. This one runs at full speed. 47. Dead or Alive Dimensions, a 3D fighting game featuring characters and stages from across the Dead or Alive series. This one has slowdown and lag in Azahar. It's playable, but not very enjoyable that way. You can try it on Citra Mmj, which also doesn't run at full speed but feels smoother and more manageable. 48. FIFA 12 EA's football sim on 3DS, offering career modes and 3D match presentation. It runs at full speed, but honestly, I'd recommend the PS2 version if you really want to play this one. It just feels better overall. 49. New Super Mario Bros. 2, a side-scrolling Mario game all about coin collecting, with the classic run-and-jump gameplay. This one also runs at full speed. 50. Mario Kart 7, Nintendo's iconic kart racer for 3DS, introducing underwater racing and hang gliders. It's playable, but there are some slowdowns when too many racers appear on screen. However, it runs flawlessly on Citra Mmj. Since you guys made it this far, let's talk about a few more games. Playable or not, doesn't matter. 51. Super Street Fighter IV 3D Edition, a handheld version of Capcom's fighting classic, featuring all characters and 3D-enabled visuals. This one runs at full speed. You might hate me for saying this, but the only problem with this game is, it's a 3DS port. But if you've got a decent device, just play the PC version, you'll immediately see the difference. Keep this one as a last resort, though I do appreciate the effort of porting it to the 3DS. 52. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. This one almost runs at full speed, but I experienced major slowdowns sometimes after finishing a fight. However, during actual battles, it stays smooth, so I'd still call it playable overall. 53. Metroid: Samus Returns, a full remake of Metroid 2 from the Game Boy, with modern graphics, controls, and counter mechanics. An amazing game, and it runs at full speed too. 54. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, a port of the tough Wii platformer, known for its challenge and gorgeous visuals. Playable, but there are noticeable slowdowns. I'd recommend using Citra Mmj instead, since it runs this game better. 55. One Piece: Unlimited World Red, an action-adventure featuring the Straw Hat Pirates with exploration, battles, and minigames. This one also runs at full speed without any issues. 56. Resident Evil: Revelations, a survival horror game set between RE4 and RE5, originally made for 3DS before being ported to consoles. Playable, but it slows down every time you open a door. I'd suggest using Citra Mmj for this one too. There's also a Switch version that performs much better. 57. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell 3D, a 3DS adaptation of Chaos Theory, but heavily stripped down compared to the original. Not playable at all. I tried everything I could, but the game just refused to run properly. 58. Sonic and All-Stars Racing transformed Sega's kart racer, featuring Sonic and crossover characters, with cars that transform into boats and planes. Not playable either. It does boot, but the FPS is so low that it's basically unplayable. A stronger device might handle it better though. 59. Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures 2, a 3D platformer spin-off based on the animated series. Also not playable. It crashes every time I try to boot it, even on the lowest settings. 60. Luigi's Mansion: Dark Moon 2, the sequel to the GameCube original, normally a great ghost hunting adventure, but it's not playable in Azahar, not even in Citra Mmj, which is usually my last resort. And on top of that, it's not playable in Yuzu or any of its forks either. Ironically, Luigi's Mansion 3 runs perfectly fine in Yuzu. Totally unexpected. This one does boot into the game, but the FPS is painfully low. 61. Dragon Quest XI: Echoes of an Elusive Age 3DS version. Now this one has both good and bad news. I've tried running Dragon Quest XI on Yuzu and its forks several times, but failed miserably. My device just isn't powerful enough. However, I did manage to run the 3DS port, which is like a light version of the game with its own unique charm. It runs buttery smooth at full speed. The only problem? It was a Japan exclusive release, and there's no English patch available anywhere. I searched everywhere, but no luck. So for now, you'll have to stick with the Switch or PC version. And that's been my deep dive into Azahar. Over 50 games tested, countless slowdowns, crashes, and a few surprises along the way. Some games ran flawlessly, others left me scratching my head endlessly. But hey, that's the fun of emulation. If you enjoyed this little journey, drop a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more. This is Kuro, signing off.